This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, is that not the truth or what? Today's Wednesday, May the 5th of 2021, day 125th of the year, and only 240 days left to go. Also known as at Cinco de Mayo. I mean, too bad this did not end up on a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. So hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And of course, we're hanging out with our friends at that other side of the equation if it gets to work this time.
Always streaming. Radio Big.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of stuff going on first thing in the morning. So did you miss me yesterday? Because I sure as hell missed you. But we were working on some things for what we've been talking about around here with that Safety Day stuff. But we'll talk about that a little bit more further down. Let's talk about what is trending according to the top 5 fiction and nonfiction books according to the New York Times bestseller list. We're going to start talking about that, about what exactly is going on there in case you want to know. So let's do the nonfiction category. Now let's do the fiction category first. At number 5, there were Where the Crawdads Sing. At number 4, The Four Winds. At number 3, The Hill We Climb. At number 2, Ocean's Prey. And at number 1, A Gambling Man. That's all according to the fiction category, according to the New York Times bestsellers list. But in the nonfiction section, here's how it goes. At number 5, Matthew McConaughey with Green Lights. At number 4, On the House. At number 3, The Body Keeps the Score. Hey now. At number 2, Crying in H Mart. And at number 1, former President George W. Bush. Out of many, one. Okay, out of many, one. Okay, yeah, and that's like one O-N-E, just in case, not W-O-N. So there you go. So out of many, one. So that is what is going on inside of that sector of the info as we are doing it and talking and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyways, if you're not familiar with the show, let me kind of tell you how the layout of the land works. We go like this. We are a radio station first that does some podcasting that goes into some streaming. So that's kind of how you'll see me not staring at the camera too much. But we do everything on our different stations that we have available. We talk about what's going on inside of the world of the news. We cover some stuff that's going on inside of the news with safety, and then we kind of go back and forth and then kind of give my opinion. You can jump into the box. You can shoot over a text at our number. What exactly is our number? I tend to forget nowadays. My mind is slipping. Just kidding. You can actually text over at 866-930-SFM1. That's 866-930-SFM1. We can get you rolling and bowling, see what exactly you have going on, and we can shoot from there. Anyways, let's get you to our friends and some feature story news, because that's always important, what they have going on. So let's do that now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. India's recorded its highest daily COVID-19 deaths figure of 3,780. Over 380,000 cases have also been registered in the last 24 hours. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, meanwhile, says he's comfortable with the current ban on people travelling into Australia from India. Mr. Morrison's government's come under heavy criticism for the ban, which has made it a criminal offence for people to enter the country if they've been in India in the past fortnight. Sean Bindley reports from Brisbane.
With a number of high-profile cricketers now stuck in India following the cancellation of the IPL, Mr Morrison said that it was unlikely anyone would be charged for breaching the ban. He says the pause on travel is working well and relieving the pressure on Australia's struggling quarantine system.
This pause is enabling us to get on the right footing to be able to restore those repatriation flights, and we're making good progress to that. We're already starting to see the incidence of those cases starting to come down.
In Brisbane, I'm Sean Bindley.
Japanese local media is reporting the government's considering extending the state of emergency as coronavirus infection rates remain high. Emergency countermeasures are currently in place for Tokyo and 3 other prefectures. Phoebe Amoroso reports from FSN Tokyo.
With the deadline for the state of emergency period approaching, Prime Minister Suga will need to make a decision as to whether to extend it or not. He met with an infectious disease expert on Wednesday and reportedly said that he was having difficulty in deciding. The mayor of Osaka also indicated he would ask the government for an extension. The city is one of the worst affected areas and is experiencing a shortage of hospital beds for patients with serious COVID-19 symptoms. Yet serious cases hit a record high of 1,050 on Sunday and continue to hover near that level. Other regions are requesting so-called quasi-emergency measures as infections continue to spread nationwide.
The UK has announced new funding to fast-track the development of vaccines that can respond to new COVID-19 variants. An extra £30 million is going to testing facilities at the Porton Down Research Laboratory and vaccine manufacturing capabilities. It'll mean scientists can test 3,000 blood samples each week to assess how different vaccines produce protective antibodies against strains of coronavirus. UK Vaccine Minister Nadeem Zahawi says it'll help in the fight to keep the virus at bay.
What it will provide for is a capacity that allows us to very rapidly test which vaccine variant will work against any virus variant that may escape. The ability to always stay ahead of the virus. The virus will become desperate to try and survive.
Former US President Donald Trump has launched a new website to publish content that it says will come straight from his desk. The site will host press releases he's been putting out since being banned by Twitter and suspended by Facebook and YouTube. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Support for Safety FM is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and the detail on the 4.0 are next level. You know more times of actually handling blades and becoming a bloody mess, if you know what I'm saying there. Manscaped engineered the ultimate growing and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for some precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim throughout additional guards, lengths with sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention that it's wireless charging? Yeah, not a joke here. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SAFETY. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
There you go. A lot of information going on past the top of the hour. We are only 10 minutes past. That's what exactly we have going on. So let's start talking what we're seeing inside of the world of the news if you're hanging out, doing the different things and so on. So here we go. As of today, over 247.7 million COVID vaccines have been administered nationwide. Over 106.1 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, while more than 147.8 million have received at least one dose. According to the CDC. The total number of cumulative cases is about, in the U.S., is about a little over 32 million, with over 574,600 deaths attributed to the virus. So there you go. Some interesting stuff. I should probably jump around a little bit. Should I kind of go into the next segment here of what is going on? I'll jump back and forth based on what I have in front of me. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this, but here's some news coming out inside of the COVID front. The FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for Americans ages 12 and older by next week. According to an insider who is familiar with the process, the shots will be ready to go by the beginning of next school year. The announcement is set to come less than a month after company found that the vaccine is safe for those 16 years and older. So what do you think about this as you're hearing about it? I mean, we are seeing the cumulative cases of what's going on. 32 million people actually having it, 574,600 deaths so far. And then all of a sudden now it sounds like it will be opening up for 12-year-olds and older. What do you think about it? What comes to mind when you hear this? Is this something, if you have children inside of that age demo, that you would allow them to do so?
Duh.
That is something that I'm asking you now. Ahora. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see on some of the responses. You know, you can hang around and take a look and see what the different things that people are saying. It's always interesting on the association, what's tied in, what's not tied in, on when people are speaking about it. So that's something that I would probably tell you. What do you think? What's coming to your brain as we're talking here? Because that's going to be important. There's going to be a lot of thought process that needs to go into this thing before you kind of make your decision for you and your family members. Like I always say, it's always going to be based on your situation, on what needs to be done next.
Duh.
Anyways, let's talk about it. Derek Chauvin wants a new trial. The former police officer filed a motion yesterday arguing that his constitutional rights to a fair trial had been violated multiple times throughout the proceeding. His attorney, Eric Nelson, took issue with the venue and the fact that jurors were not sequestered during the trial. Nelson also asked that Chauvin's guilty verdict for second-degree unintentional murder and third-degree murder and authorized use of force be thrown out because evidence did not so sufficiently support it for those charges. So there you go. Worth noting that the petition didn't include anything about the recent evidence showing that the jurors attempting a BLM rally while wearing T-shirts with the slogan "Get your knee off my neck." I don't know. Some interesting stuff coming about on there. What do you think about doing a second trial here? Of course, your opinion is always warranted on this show, as we are always talking about what's going on in your neck of the woods and what's going on inside of your brain, because it's always important on that particular part.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
A Good Samaritan rescued a toddler that had been thrown from a vehicle into the water during a crash in Maryland earlier this week. The 2-year-old was ejected and landed in the Assawoman Bay after the car that she had crashed was left hanging off the side of the bridge. An unidentified individual jumped and the highway guardrail. An individual jumped the highway guardrail into the bay to save the child. The toddler was flown to Johns Hopkins Children's Center in Baltimore and is said to be in stable condition. Good for the Good Samaritan that did this. And boy, is that something that's totally different than normally what tends to take place. So good to see that there's always still great people out there that are going ahead and going above the call to take care of what needs to be done. Anyways, let's continue talking. Bavarian officials canceled Oktoberfest festivities for the second year in a row due to coronavirus concerns. Governor Markus Söder made the announcement this week saying that the virus numbers are still too high and German hospitals are already struggling. Germany is currently under COVID lockdown and includes a ban on large gatherings. The annual event typically attracts about 6 million visitors from around the world. So there you go. No Oktoberfest happening there, but let's talk about it. Depending on where you're located and how things are going, you might still be able to celebrate. Oktoberfest festivities are always important, depending on what you have going on. I mean, seriously, let's talk about it in that fashion. Let's think about it for just a brief moment. Anyways, let's continue talking. Apparently in Maryland with a hotspot here. A woman from Maryland set a home on fire and then pulled up a lawn chair to watch it burn. Multiple fire departments responded to the blaze last week as a witness said that the woman identified as, let's not make her famous, set fire intentionally. Those same witnesses that said that after a few minutes they heard her scream coming from the home and helped rescue the woman through the basement window. The person has been charged with first and second degree attempted murder, arson, assault, 2 counts of malicious burning, 2 counts of malicious destruction of property, and 2 counts of reckless endangerment. The woman says that who was rescued from the burning home has not been identified. Her relationship to the person that burned the joint down, so there you go, is still unknown. Wow, what is going on here? I mean, what is going on inside of the world here that we start doing these things? I mean, not we as collective, but, there is this reasonable thought for a moment in time of say, hey, if we don't like something, let's just burn the bitch down.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, more than 20 people died and dozens were injured when a metro overpass in Mexico City collapsed onto the road late Monday night. Unfortunately, there are children among the dead, according to Mayor Claudia I'm going to butcher this name. Sheinbaum, 77, told the Associated Press. Rescue efforts continued throughout the day yesterday. The cause of the collapse is under investigation. I'm glad that it didn't come out saying straight up human error, but glad that they're still looking into what is going on. But man, how do these things happen? I don't know. I mean, and that's the interesting part as we continue to talk here. So we talk about gun violence, and unfortunately, yes, today is another day that we will be talking about it. Shooting in New York City spiked 182% in the last week compared to the same time period of 2020. The week before saw 253% rise in gun violence. Nearly every crime, rape, murder, robbery jumped when compared to the same period, 7-day period prior. Also, hate crimes were up about 85%, while Mayor Bill de Blasio blames the lack of criminal courts for the increase in crime. NYPD states stats show that there has been a trend for years. Last month's murders were up by 33%, rapes were up by 125%, and the grand larcenies were up by 97% from those of 2020. Also, there were as many shootings in 2020. Also, there were as many shootings in 2020 as the prior 2 years combined. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, the one where you were locked up most of the time. Yeah, that year. But there was a blame. I said, but sure, let's blame the courts, not the fact that the officers had some of their hand size and doing some of their jobs in criminal investigations. Of course, this is some of the information that's provided in front of me here. And then let's just kind of take a look at some of this stuff. Some of this stuff has changed, and I mean, you have to look at how some of these numbers are jumping. But when you're seeing a week-to-week jump, increase, decrease compared to the previous year. I mean, the week before saw 253% increase in gun violence, but still at 182%. We're not talking about, it's great. That's the stuff that we have to be talking about. We have to be looking into, like, what's going on. And, of course, we can have tons and tons of conversations around all of this stuff as you take a look at it. I mean, just think about it for a brief moment. I mean, what else would you be thinking? I don't know. Some interesting stuff for sure as we are talking here this lovely 20 minutes after the top of the hour. Anyways, the novel coronavirus may be seasonal according to a new study. Researchers found that places with warm temperatures and long hours of sunlight had a lower rate of COVID cases compared to those with cooler temps and less sunlight. The study showed that every 1 degree increase in the country's latitude from the equator has tied to a 4.3% increase in the number of COVID-19 cases per million people, which is consistent with the hypothesis that heat and sunlight reduces the spread of the virus. Researchers also noted that their study only examined data through January 9th of this year, which was before the number of variants emerged. So what do you think about this as you hear this? I mean, it does make it interesting if you start thinking about warm temperature places on how it would be better in connection too. So does this make you automatically, if you're in the U.S. of A., want to make you move to a state that has warmer temperatures? Because I'm telling you, I want to go to the hottest of hot, if that's the correct information. I mean, wouldn't you think about it in that particular fashion? I mean, I wonder what humidity does to it. Maybe that's a portion of the conversation that we should start having in that particular regards. That could possibly change a lot of things for some people as we do take a look at it. But that's just some convo to think about. So what do you think about warm temperatures when it comes to all that stuff? Was it something that you would consider? Would you move there? I mean, I don't know. And what's warm? I mean, Arizona is hot, but then it can get cold at times. Las Vegas can be hot, but then it can get cold at times. So I don't know. So are we looking at like the hottest of hot? I don't know. I mean, listen to the people from Texas. They say that it's hot, but then again, they also say give it a few hours because temperatures in Texas change like cray-cray. So that's something to think about. Anyways, let's bring our buddy, partner, friend in, John Smalls, where he can talk about the Market Beat Minute.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. The broad market gave up some ground Tuesday as rising signs of inflation stoke fears of higher interest rates. Not only are the systemic signs within the S&P 500 of rising inflation, but Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says a small rate hike may be needed to keep the economy from overheating. With the April NFP report on tap for Friday and expected to be strong, there is a chance that good news will be too good for the market to handle, because it will reinforce the idea that interest rates are going to rise. In other news, the VIX, or so-called fear gauge, surged more than 10% on Tuesday to hit a one-month high. The move raises the odds for a significant correction in the S&P and should not be taken lightly. With the VIX above the short-term 30-day moving average, the most likely direction for fear to move is higher, and that means lower prices for the S&P 500. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Yep. That's what we saw. Stocks finished pretty flat on Tuesday. The Dow closed slightly slightly up with a 0.06. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq slipped about 1.88, and the S&P was about down about 0.67 points. So as you can see, a lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking about it. So some information to think about as that does come up. Because that's what is going on right now. So if you play the stocks games, there you go. There's the information for you. You might care about what exactly is going on inside of that neck of the world. Boy. Be careful with the button touching today.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk, because it's time to talk about that main story stuff. You know, the stuff that we talk about, the stuff that we do, the stuff that we bring up as we do get to hang out and all that kind of fun stuff. So here's the thing. Let's talk about it today, about the problem with work. Let's talk today about what is the cause, the difficulties, and the things that occur inside of your workplace that make work, well, in some case, suck. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's think about all the problems currently inside of your life that are caused by work. Let's think about those moments in time when people turn around and they get a promotion over you. They get something that you feel that you deserve. Let's talk about that moment in time where work has made your life miserable in your personal life. You know, we all have those moments. We all sit back for a moment of time and we think about these things on how work isn't fair. We think about these times on how I am more deserving than X individual and I should have received this. I deserve. Yes, I deserve. We think about these times where people go and they're able to, well, we'll call it tattletelling, you know, that little kid thing that used to be done when you were a child. That kind of stuff. And we think about the miseries that occur inside of work all the time. We think about the problems that they actually create. I mean, I will tell you, I have listened to books where people have talked about the problems that work cause day in and day out. I will tell you, I have read books on how work has actually caused marriages to fail. I have read books where people talk about the things that work has caused them to lead to infidelity, how work has caused them to launder. Really? Really? So here's the thing. There might be some truth to a good chunk of the stuff that I just said there. There might be some truth to that work isn't great and work isn't fair. And I'm going to tell you, you're right. It's not. Work is not fair. But here's the interesting part about the whole thing. We put so much on work, on the value that it brings to it. And I'm not talking dollars and cents here. I'm talking about the value across the board, the value that it actually takes from you. I mean, and let's just talk about it for a moment. The way that people take a look at this stuff is just amazing to me. I'm going to tell you, work isn't fair. And sometimes it seems like you have to be a cheerleader inside of there for, hey, I did this today, and everybody needs to know that I did this. Hey, let's celebrate me doing this, doing that. That's not me. And that's not a lot of people. There's a person that can say, today I lifted a pen, and they can actually make such a big deal about it that people will be excited that the person lifted a pen today. And the interesting part, because of what you do and I do for work, it really changes some of the aspects of what we think about when it comes to work. Listen, I know some safety professionals that are paid very poorly for what they do, but they're not doing it for the sake of money. They're doing it for the sake of actually being able to help people. And that's quite an interesting conundrum. Because here's the thing. As you know this, and I know this, we both know that work isn't perfect. Well, if you don't, sorry, I probably just bursted your bubble this morning. But that's the thing. Work isn't perfect. Life sometimes isn't perfect. And yes, if you allow it to do so, sometimes these things can really take a weird turn for you. I will tell you, I have been with people in relationships that they have let their work dictate everything about their life. If they're happy, it's because things are going good at work. If they're miserable, it's because things are going bad at work. If they're not making the amount of money that they think that they deserve, things are not going well. And that's the thing. Work is, yes, a good chunk of where you more than likely spend a good chunk of your time of your life. But here's the thing. If you start putting the emphasis on other things as well, it becomes a little bit more adaptive. And I understand that a lot of people work and that's how they survive. Don't get me wrong. Let's not kind of speak out of context here. But also at the same time, too, there's other things in life that are so important. I will tell you, when you're in a good relationship, Some people will even go, I will live with you in a tent. Let's not get that crazy, but hey, let's live in a tent. And it doesn't matter as long as you're there. And sometimes, that dollars and cents thing that we take a look at is not everything that it's meant to be. But then again, a lot of us do not want to be the punch in, punch out worker. I'm here at 9. Let's clock out at 5 and we're good to go. I understand that. But here's the thing. You have to take work not so serious. And it's interesting to me on how people look at different segments of work. Oh my God, my boss doesn't like me. My boss hates me. My boss. Okay. That's the thing. Your boss cannot like you. Your team leader cannot like you. That's perfectly fine. He's not your principal. She's not your principal. I mean, let's take a look at some of these different things. People tend to forget that work is just work. Yes, I know there's been some times it's been a little bit more difficult being able to find some of these things. But people take this to such an extreme. And I'm not saying don't do good quality work. That's not what I'm saying. So let's not speak out of context here. But also, we have to take a look at some of this stuff and really take a look going around going, okay, it has to make sense for what you're doing. And we put such high levels of stress on ourselves that come out of work relations that it becomes very odd at times. Because me being upset at the world because things didn't go well at work is probably not the best standpoint. Now, I understand also if you're in your own business, if you run it, blah, 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 that could become a different story. Not justifying that either. The problem with work is this. It's how we mentally focus on it. It's how we mentally see it. And I think that that's the thing that we need to talk about more and more. If you enjoy what you're doing, is it really work? And I know that I speak to people all the time in this little world of ours that are related to the safety industry. And we're in the misery business. Sorry, but it's the truth. Think about it. You're normally called upon if something went wrong, if there was a death that occurred, an injury that occurred, and if certain numbers aren't hit in regards of how many people are injured. I was listening to a person give an example yesterday. They were talking to somebody who was an older gentleman that used to run a power plant. The guy said that they lowered their injury rates because this is what occurred. They had a red phone inside of the main person's office. If you called one time to this red phone, they gave you grace for whatever the injury was. And if you called a second time, you were fired. Yes, that's exactly what they said. The guy, the older gentleman who actually had the red phone, was under the impression because he instituted this program that all of their incidents went down because he didn't see any more incidents. Everything number-wise went down because of them putting that focus on there. Really, did it go down or did it go and become hidden? The problem with work is not the way that work is, because work is meant to suck. Let's just be realistic. There's a lot of weird bureaucracies that do take place from time to time. It's understanding on how you have to have the mental capacity to be able to look at work. And also the other side of it is how you manage. Yes, I did say this. You manage your boss. Yeah, you manage that relationship. You know what normally will affect that person one way, shape, or form. What kind of work they're looking for. Now look at it. I want to give you this as an idea. All they're trying to do is make sure that the place is being ran how they're being dictated to run it. Yes, information given to them on how it is supposed to look. So manage that relationship. It will get you much further down the road and change the way that you look at work. I'm going to tell you, that will be the biggest problem to resolve, is changing the way that you look at it. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a guy behind a microphone. No, like seriously, I'm just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and Shelter Pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So for years, I have been telling you how I sleep so miserably at night, but that has all changed as of recent, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a sleep quiz that takes just about 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why should you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you will know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody is unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have a soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even at Helix Plus mattresses for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz, and I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt soft, and I sleep on my side. It was such a different approach and exactly on how I was able to sleep. I love it. It's a huge upgrade from what I had before, that's for sure. The kids love it, even though they shouldn't be jumping on my bed, but that's a whole other story. And my wife loves it, which is important. So if you're looking for a mattress, you just take the quiz. You order the mattress, and you're matched to it. And the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store again. Helix is awesome, but you don't need my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. There, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you up with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try the mattress for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. Don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Anyways, that is Home Again, Park Lane featuring Lakeisha Nugent. This song's readily available on iTunes and Spotify. Oh, yeah. Anyways, it is currently 38 minutes past the top of the hour. There you go. There you go. Some interesting stuff real quick. So we're going to get off kilter for just a couple of seconds here. If you're familiar with, late night TV, you might have seen this man off and on for the last little bit. But Conan O'Brien has announced that after 11 years, he will be winding down his TBS late night show with the final episode airing on June the 24th. O'Brien said that he is leaving to launch the 4th iteration of his program with HBO Max later this year, and that his final 2 months of TBS will be dedicated to clips of his favorite moments and will feature special guests. So just wanted to make reference of that because, Team Coco will definitely be missed filling out that late night show gap, just in case. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world. We're going to go back and talk a little bit because we talk a little bit about everything. So we're going to hit up the coronavirus. By the way, thank you for the people that did make some comments during the main story. I get so excited sometimes when it comes to work-related issues and how we actually look at work. And I will tell you that a lot of the influences that I have, that I take a look at, and a lot of the thought processes, realistically, if you really take a look at it, are human and organizational performance-based. Because here's the thing, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier. We get so hung up on being safety too, opposed to looking at it as a whole transformational thing. Think about that for a moment. And I will tell you, and I speak to the author of this book all the time, and I love the book to death. I really do. I think it's one of the best, simplest reads that you'll ever go through. And that book titled Simple Revolutionary Acts. And I will tell you, this is why, as part of Safety FM Plus, if you ever sign up for it, what we do right there is we give you a free PDF copy of it immediately. So the moment you sign up, and if you have to go onto the computer for this one to work this way. But once you sign up, there is a copy included with your sign up of the Simple Revolutionary Acts book. And I'll tell you, even if you do the 3-day trial, the book's there. Because I think that information that's there is so important. I will tell you, it will revolutionize the way that you look at work. It will revolutionize the way that you look at a lot of things. So there you go. Anyways, let's get into some of the information that we're seeing still related to COVID. So let's talk about that real quick. Are you among the millions of people who have been wanting to receive the second dose of Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine? When your appointment day comes, make sure that you don't miss it. Researchers from Cornell University say that lack of information about the importance of the second shot could end up in prolonging the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, listen to this one. They have found that 1 in 5 people surveyed in the U.S. believe that the vaccines will actually provide enough protection against COVID after just 1 dose. Researchers found that the problem isn't just with the public. They also say that not enough people are getting proper guidance from officials or facilities handling vaccinations. Among vaccinated respondents, only half said that they have received information about the timing of the vaccine protection. Nearly 8% of Americans are not following through both doses. That's over 5 million people missing their second appointment. This means that the new recommendations the CDC is putting at the end of the mask wearing in most situations do not apply to those patients. Okay, fine then. I'll make another appointment to pass out in front of the nurse. Okay, I'm just joking on that part. Maybe one of the side effects that people are not realizing could be forgetfulness. Yeah, could be another one. And they said that this would mean that that they would have to have the vaccination in the veins. Yeah, that's how we do vaccines here. They have to go into your veins. Just making a small reference there because some people act like this is the first time that they've ever get a vaccine. So I don't know. How are you feeling about the vaccination? Have you done it? Have you considered doing it? If you have considered doing it, cool. Did you get the first one done? Are you kind of in the standpoint of moving forward with it? I don't know. I'm asking you the question. I am just a questionnaire in regards of what's going on here. So there you go. Anyways, let me talk about this event that's coming up because I was hanging out yesterday with the peeps that are putting this thing on, and I think it's important to talk about. So let's do that. Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe yes. Maybe so. Let's talk about this little thing going on right here. Have you ever sat back and asked yourself that question, who is in your corner? Well, that's what we're all about on May the 18th at Safety Day 2021, presented by the ACFS. Come to the event on May the 18th at the Rosen Plaza Hotel in Orlando, Florida. There'll be world-renowned speakers speaking about this all-important subject of who is in your corner when it comes to dealing with safety. If you want to learn on how to reduce risk, how to support safety, and be a health champion, this is the event for you. Don't miss out on this event, available by the ACFS. Now, the question that always comes up is, what are these events worth? What is the cost? What is it going to cost me? Well, it's not going to be as much as some of the other events. You will get this great value for $30. Yes, you heard me correctly. $30. That's lunch, that's parking, and that's even CEUs. for $30. For more information, go to acfs.org. That's acfs.org and enjoy Safety Day 2021, an in-person event. So there you go. That's going on with the ACFS. So if you want to come by, attend, that will be occurring in Orlando, Florida on May the 18th. And yes, we will be broadcasting live. Yes, I did say live from the event. I'm sure we'll jump in, jump out, and all that kind of fun stuff. Sam Goodman and Emily Elrod will actually be there as well. Have some shows on this network of things. So Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd and Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bald. So there you go. It is a boxing theme, and of course, professional boxer Christy Martin will be there as well. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on that particular day. I think it will be a fun time. So if you're in the area, feel free on coming out and hanging out. If you're not in the area, well, I don't know what they're doing digitally. And it is available in Spanish as well in real time, which is kind of an interesting twist there. So there will have some devices that you get. Well, not devices. They will actually be doing translation for people who speak Spanish immediately via an app. So something different to bring into the world. So that way we can all be one connected network of things to do. Yes, there you go. Anyways, it is 46 minutes past the top of the hour. So let's bring in Smalls one more time. I think that's going to be important. And let him go ahead and talk about what is going on for motivation.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Michael Jordan said, "You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them." I love that. And Michael Jordan knows a little something about achieving great things. He was a champion over and over in sports and in life. He shared his secret too. He expected great things. And then he went out and chased after them. You need to remember both sides of that, by the way. Don't just expect great things, but then never actually go out and do anything about it. But also, don't go out and wander aimlessly. Be sure to set a great plan and expect great things, then follow through and achieve them. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Anyways, that's Johnny Smalls. That comes off of our afternoon show on Radio Big.FM with John and Heidi in the afternoon drive, that's for sure. So here's the fun part. You take a listen to something like that, and it goes back to that whole reverse engineering thing. If you don't make a plan, you can have a goal, but you have to make a plan and then work that bad boy backwards. I talk about that all the time in the Simple Revolutionary Acts speech that I get to give from time to time. So there you go. Anyways, let's keep on talking. And yes, Richard Nichols, yes, you are absolutely right. I believe she's going to be there. I might have heard that once or twice. Anyways, let's continue talking. Let's talk about a good sense of humor. Just in case Maddie in accounting hasn't already told you, scientists have found that gossip can actually be good for you. Don't tell that to the Ramsey Group. Despite the negative reputation, researchers from the Dartmouth College say that the act of spreading information in places like the office setting isn't just about passing on rumors and saying bad things about others. There is a report that had found that this also serves to create a social connection and helps people learn new things about the world that they haven't experienced themselves. While many of us associate this with gossip and with trading negative secrets, the scientists say that it also can include small talk in person or online and having a private Zoom chat. Previous studies have found that about 14% of people with daily conversations can be classified as gossip, and most of it is in a neutral tone. Study authors have found that gossip can create a shared reality where friends and colleagues build a social bond, exchange information, and reach agreements on social acceptable behaviors. And apparently around here, that socially acceptable behavior involves laughing at my wardrobe every time I leave the room. Yeah, that does happen around here. Well, that's one thing that we aren't guilty around here. The gossip thing. I just tell you how it is. I really dislike gossipers. They disgust me all the time.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, let's continue talking real quick. Bet you can't eat just one. An Australian man has become the first ever to complete a pub 5K burger challenge. On the weekend, James became the first to earn a place in the Legends board of the Kitchener Hotel in Sacknock. After 55 others before him failed, James devoured a $60 burger weighing in 11 pounds in under 30 minutes. He managed the feat with this, which many have called impossible, in 25 minutes and 37 seconds. And what he earned for is his gluttony. Well, this is what he got. Aside from a full stomachache and probably some serious heartburn, the prize money that eventually the winner has slowly increased every time someone failed to put the whole meal down. So James walked away with a hefty $650, and the prize has been reset to $100 for the next challenger. And just to make his feat even more ridiculous, James still had room for dessert, and he ordered a double serving of cheesecake to wash down the main meal. Yeah, there are pics available online just in case. And there you have it, the ultimate cheat meal. You have to admit, he's definitely on a roll.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Anyways, it is 51 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out here on Safety FM, and this is the Rated R Safety Show. Anyways, no winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for a $142 million jackpot or a $97.9 million cash payout. So there you go. Some interesting stuff going on right there. So let's talk about it. We tend to sometimes not go into some deep dives about this, but I think that we should talk about this every single day, and I think right now will be the perfect time. If you are struggling with mental health or suicidal thoughts, or you've lost a loved one to one of these things, or know someone that has struggled with this, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. All you have to do is go to AFSP.org. That's AFSP.org. That is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. There's stories there's information, there's data, there's people you can reach out to have conversations about what's going on. If you don't want to go to the website, you can also give a call to 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. That's 741-741 for more information. Understand this, and I know we joke around and we do some other things around here, but let's be serious. We can't do what we do without you because you're so important to this world of ours. So if you are struggling with this or know someone who's struggling with this, don't go any further until you've done one of these things and you've reached out to these people and talked to them about what is going on inside of your world. Please do this. I mean, I think it's so important for us to always have an ongoing conversation about what is going on inside of the world. And this is not a joke.
Some say I'm a street fighter, a renegade, a courtroom brawler. I'm a trial lawyer and I have a mission: to right wrongs, to level the playing field, to protect victims by doing what I do best: win in court. That's the DNA of Figer Law. Figer Law. I was born for this. I was born for this. I was born for this.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's continue talking real quick about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2013, the National Rifle Association reported a record membership exceeding 5 million people. The feat was announced that the organizational annual convention in Houston, Texas, by Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre. This came on the heels of failed gun control bill in Congress that would have heavily regulated firearm sales in America. That happened back in 2013. Back in 2020, global cases of COVID-19 reached about 3.65 million, and deaths were about 70,000. That was back on this date. Let's talk about some birth dates that are going on right now at this time. Let's see. Chris Brown turns 32. Adele turns 33. Does she have a new album? How do we not know her age? JC Cav turns 34. Henry Cavill, yeah, he turns 38 today. How does Superman get older? Vanessa Bryant turns 39. Craig David turns 40. And Danielle Fishlow turns, Topanga turns 40 today. And Karl Marx, yeah, that famous philosopher that so many people love, yeah, he was born on this date back in 1818. So there you go, some information for you. Anyways, if you need some days of the year to celebrate today, here you go. I got some for you. National Astronauts Day, National Cartoonist Day, National Silence the Shame Day, National National Totally Chipotle Day. It's really Chipotle Day. National Hoagie Day, National Bike to School Day, National Skilled Trades Day, and National Interpreter Appreciation Day. It's also Oyster Day, but this also lands on El Cinco de Mayo, which is celebration, how it normally goes during those particular days. Anyways, in the next little bit, I am going to go over to RadioBig.fm if you want to come over, hang out, and talk about the things that we have going on inside of the world. We'll talk about news. We'll talk about some other stuff going on. We'll talk about a lot of music because that's what we tend to focus on over there. So we'll do some of those things. Anyways, let me give you some whack facts for this Wednesday. This first ever oranges. Did you know that the first ever oranges were green? Yeah, did you know about that? Yeah, that's what happens. Corn doesn't exist in the wild. If humans stopped cultivating it, corn would die out in just a few years. Maybe that's going to be a thing. Goats have accents, and that's not a joke either. People who are lying tend to look up and to their left. Oh, interesting to know. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. Did you know that one? Major League Baseball umpires are required to wear black underwear in case their pants split. Did not know that, so now we know. And knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Oh, no, that's something else. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What's the creepiest urban legend you have ever heard? Oh, that's a good one. Good to see. Here you go. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. It's funny how Cinco de Mayo always seems to fall on the 5th of May. If you need a conversation for the water cooler, you can try this one. Question. 32% of people admit that they have lied to get out of this. What is it? A wedding. Hopefully not their own, because that could potentially be a problem. Duh. I would think so. Anyway, so a lot of good stuff going on always here because of you. Yes, the best part of Safety FM, the listener. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show right here as you and I get to hang out. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with me when we do this show, taking a listen across the multiple formats that we do it. We are always trying to bring things to you that we can provide. Like I've always said, these shows will always be available to you as the listener via radio format or podcast format. And I know that you're starting to see a lot of new podcasters going to a paid style format. Don't expect to see that here because this is what we want to do, be able to provide information to you. That's always been the concept of when we started Safety FM. So want to make sure that you know that that's exactly what's going on. We don't want to do anything related to paid podcasting. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on this morning. I really do appreciate it. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Oh, no. Did you think I was going to leave you without... Did you think I wasn't going to give you the thought? Come on. I was just joking. Anyways, if I can leave you with a final thought, then I'll give you the whirl here. Here you go. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Think about that and go back into the main story. Anyways, now I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
Duh. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.